Hey everybody, welcome back to Everything's a Project. Okay, what I have here is I have a customer that does auto racing type stuff. They wanted a wedge, 7.5 inch long, 1 inch wide, essentially 0 at this end and ½ inch at this end. So, look at that mess. Okay, so now first thing, it's all done. Gonna turn off the magnet. Then we're gonna turn on the Garage Vac Pro, which every of you should have one because they're awesome. I got on the remote control. I'm gonna suck all this up, get rid of all this crap. So you can see this whole contraption I got going on over here. Okay, so and we're off. Okay, so if any of you have ever tried to obtain a compound Sine plate for grinding, they're $6,000. So I had actually found one, but it was 100 years old and the magnet was dead and it wasn't a serviceable magnet. So unfortunately I got it all apart and found out you can't take it apart. You can't get into the magnet to clean it up or rejuvenate it. Okay, so a while back I bought a K.O. Lee tool and cutter grinder and somebody was using it as a surface grinder, so it had this little magnet on it. So then what I did was, this is where the compound Sine ends, and this is has a bolt pattern on it, so you can bolt things to it. So I ground a plate in between because I had to bolt this plate to here, and then the magnet is bolted to there. So as you can see, it's a whole mess. Now, what you'll notice is this is a coarse magnet. To hold this guy, you need a fine pole magnet. So you put these 1, 2, 3 blocks on this magnet to multiply the magnetic strength or the moments, the magnet fields. Okay, so then the other thing that I ran into with this guy is that it was just steel I had on the shelf. I started doing this cut and it kept fighting me and it would kick around. So it finally caught my eye that it started to bow. So it had stress in it. So one of my Christmas presents to myself was a Hot Shot 360 heat treating oven, which you won't see. It's on my back porch. Perfect place for it. I went with the argon kit to purge it, but I didn't purge this one because I didn't care about the scale on this. So anyways, I did the stress relief operation on it, 1650 degrees, and then let it air cool, and it seemed to do the trick. I ground the backside real quick on the surface grinder. Okay, so we're going to move over that because my other Christmas present to myself is the infamous VacuGuard. I've been looking for one for quite a while. They're hard to come by, especially at a reasonable price. This one was reasonable and it's in very nice shape, and I grabbed it. So I had ground on there. Oops, I had ground there. Okay, so now, not only are these just a cover with a vacuum hose attached to them. Oop, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. Okay. They have some ducting in them. Let me see if my phone light will light it up. There you go. See that duct work? It draws really hard. So almost nothing gets past the VacuGuard. I have it canted so this level here is about the height of the wheel currently, and that changes as the wheel wears, but they have thorough adjustment, so you can rotate by loosening this, and you can change the height here. Okay, so as you might have noticed on this part, I just got to go over stone it. That tip is so thin that it's moved around a little bit, but it's going to be fine. Okay, then as you might recall, the saw. So this is a FMB Phoenix model, and they're about $7,000 new. It's a Super Duty. It cuts incredibly well. This vise is over 100 pounds, and so you can hold little pieces in here without having another piece here, because it's so rigid it won't cant like on other saws. It has a finer tooth blade on it, because the previous company used it for mostly tubing, and I've kept it on there, and I run it at high speed, and I get really nice cuts. And it has coolant, so that helps, of course. And then you can adjust the feed. Here's a tubing project. I'm going to weld those together. And you may recall my last vulgar rant was that this was locked up. So I've removed the vise, upper and lower, because that was all locked up. So it all had to be cleaned and lubricated. It all works real nice now. And then it's got the quick. However, it still does not swivel. I've had it completely apart. I've had the rod. So how it's built is this. Has a rod that goes through, and then the locking handle is right there. So all of this was gone. The rod was out, the handle was off, so there's nothing there, and this thing is locked up. It had a whole can of blaster sprayed in there, still didn't do anything. I grabbed this stuff, the Superzilla stuff. I don't know if it's going to be any better. I'm reluctant to tear it apart because I'm using it a lot. I've probably done 100 cuts, and it's working really well, except for it doesn't swivel, which is one of the best features on this because it's quick acting. It's the head that moves, and it's got 45 and 60 degree stops on the side. So, and then another person reminded me about acetone and transmission fluid. I do believe that works really well because I think the acetone lets the transmission fluid get in deeper. But the previous owners probably never swiveled it, and so it's just stuck. You might recall it had a European 2-speed motor on it, which required me to do 440 volts. So I bit the bullet and did the transformer. So 223 phase and 440 out, works beautiful. I had the shop all cleaned up and organized, but I thought I was going to have some free time, and I started doing some shop maintenance stuff. I sold the hard-hinge lathe. This lathe can do everything. I got the racks set up with that's the 22J collet system. Here's all the 5C stuff. There's another gift to myself, the Viper chair, because all of these other chairs absolutely suck. This one, the hydraulic broke the first day. That's what cushions it. And so this is way overbuilt. It's very expensive, and it sucks that they can't fucking make a intermediate chair. The whole shtick to this thing is the thick seat. Doesn't give a shit what all this is. Anyways, so I should have probably looked into office chairs more, or lab chairs, but it was $100 less because of the holidays. But you know, it's a great chair, but I don't want to spend that much on a chair in the shop. I don't sit down a lot. And anyways, what else we got? Anything else? So freed up some space over here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm cleaning up and organizing toolboxes. I'd like to get rid of some of that stuff. The welder normally is nested here because that's where the welding table is. But I had to bring it out because I did some welding to this here. Let's see what else. Yeah, I thought I had some free time. Now I got a whole bunch of things. Gonna make a all aluminum cup holder. This is race car stuff, so they probably don't want any flammables in the car. Just making a bushing for this. He said to look into exploring doing this. I could do this type of stuff on the CNC, but once you get into the geometry and the mechanisms of all this, there's lots of parts in there. It wouldn't be practical, I don't think. I'm going to make him some bushings. This is the speedometer deal, and they need to blank it off because it's going to use GPS. And I don't think it's weldable. I think it's like the cheap pot aluminum. So I was going to make a plug, but I assume it has to be... I assume there will be some issues with transmission fluid wanting to seep, so you have to make sure it seals good. So I'm intrigued to just make it all from scratch. It's technically a double offset, so this hole is, center line is a little higher than the body, and then of course this area here. Oh, which reminds me, so another option with this, if you didn't have a way to heat treat and take the stress out of it, is to use round stock, or better steel, of course. But usually round stock, the stresses are uniform, where on the hot rolled and even the cold rolled stuff, the stresses are top and bottom from when they get rolled. And if it's not a part that you can cut both sides kind of equally, you'll be chasing warp. So round stock generally can help with that, but then it's a lot even more cutting, because I had a 1/2 inch thick piece and it was 8 inches long, so I had to just do a small cut. It was like 3 inches wide, so I did the 1 inch cut first. So I think that's about it. What else? Anything? This is the stand for the heat treat oven. It came several days after because of the holiday shipping volume. Heat treat oven seems to work really nice. It's super easy to use. I guess that's it. Okay, thanks for watching. See you later.